It's time for Newsletter Chat, where Jen and Jamie chat about newsletters. Newsletter Chat with Jamie and Jen.
Good morning, Jamie.
I gotta say, that just hits different at 9 in the morning
That
as opposed to like 8 at night, doesn't it? Like,
For
everything's all
sure.
sunny, and then I come in here and it's like, yes, it's time to turn the lights down or whatever. Crazy. Crazy. What's up with you, Jen?
Not a whole lot. We got some chat going on already. Kristen Hall says, hi, new friends. Hey, Kristen.
Oh, hi, Kristen.
Hi, Teresa. She says, good
Hey.
morning. She says, a radio show.
Sort of. Jen was on radio. I think Kristen was around when you were talking about that on Friday. Yeah. Kristen, we're really glad that you're with us. We were actually saying we're so glad that we were able to pray for you last week. I hope that you're doing well. Apparently, I bolted right away and didn't get to hear that prayer request, but we have been praying for you, and we want you to know that. So, yeah, we love our chatters.
So Jamie and I have been together for to this morning for over half an hour. We could have been together an hour, but I missed that she messaged, hey, I'm already here. And I was like off doing stuff and curling my hair. I could have been like chatting with her instead of curling my hair.
But it was so bouncy today that you had to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there. Oh,
wow. It's very springy for spring. Well, spring here. See, I don't know. You all are just now getting winter, right?
Oh, yeah. Pretty bad here too. Like today's not so bad, but my car wouldn't start. It was so cold yesterday. My car wouldn't start. So apparently I need another new battery. It's like once a year we buy these expensive batteries and it's just they don't hold up. You'd think we lived in the tundra, right? Is that right?
Right. I think so. Wherever Christina is writing about right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You would think that's where you were. So, Kristen says thank you. We appreciate you, Kristen. All right. So newsletter chat. Jamie, you said you have things to talk about. So
okay, for once. And the reason I thought to bring this to everybody is because you guys were kind of talking about it before. And the topic is specifically your subject line and things that you might do to increase open rates.
Yes.
Well, I just happened to be scrolling through my own particular campaign history. So in MailerLite, which is the way that I reach out to the people who subscribe to my newsletter, they keep track for you. How successful are each of your newsletters that you send to people? They show you right on the screen how many people opened it, how many people clicked on the links. Yeah, Jen, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it's really neat to have that information because then you know if the stuff that you have in your newsletter is working. Like this time, I put in there a fun little trivia game because it was like the theme of love. So I was like, can you name this Stevie Wonder song? And then it linked to I Just Called to Say I Love You. And then I went to see if people liked that because I could tell how many people clicked to find the answer. So I loved that kind of stuff. So I was scrolling and looking back and I noticed my earlier newsletters had a 17-ish% open rate, and none of my current ones are less than double that. And I said, 34% at least open rate is much different than under 20. What's the difference? Well, turns out the only difference, same content, I switched the way that I was titling them. I was saying newsletter inside, free short story enclosed, or something like that. But when I moved the words free short story inside, immediately double open rate. Yes. So those subject lines really make a difference is the long and short of all of that.
And I found the same thing when I mention, I always have some sort of free book offer from another author or whatever. But when I actually say it in the title, I have greater open rates for sure.
Yes. And it makes sense. If you think about it from your point of view, aren't you jazzed to open an email that says something is free in there?
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you always want a great offer. Sorry, I clicked on Tina by accident. She was just telling me what I needed to do for my car. I know I have all that stuff I have to do.
Oh, Tina's giving you tundra advice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I hope you have snacks and a blanket. Everybody out there who lives in weather, please have snacks and a blanket.
Right. For real.
My husband and I just watched that Renee Zellweger movie where she got like stranded in the snow and she knew nothing about living in Minnesota because she was from Miami. And they were like, people die and everything. And I'm like, anyway, squirrel.
Yep. So speaking of subject lines, that was one of the things I wanted to talk about too, is that
good.
Last week we talked about that. So I found a couple different resources online. If you just Google search
Sure.
email open rates or email subject lines. There are a ton of people have like kind of giving you like, top 100
Yeah.
open rates or, 67 that'll get your, whatever.
Yeah, and you
So I
have to
went,
watch out too because 'cause they're not always in your industry.
yes,
Right,
so I found one. It was not, I couldn't find any in our industry.
right.
So I went through and I took the ideas of each one and then I opened up a Google Doc and I named newsletter subject lines. And I just started
Mm,
doing, like, random, like, ones
what a
that
good
I could
idea.
use, and I left it open. Here it is.
Oh, it's
So,
such
that
a
I
good
could
idea.
possibly
Yeah.
use. So,
Mhm.
like, here's like, for when you don't even know what to write about, I put 9 things you never knew about Jennifer.
Oh, there you go.
Well, see, like, then it's just a random it doesn't have to be 9. I just put that up there. It's just a random newsletter, but it's people will click on that because, "Well, what don't I know about this person?" People always wanna know that kinda stuff, right?
Well, and the beautiful thing is too, it gives you the assignment of what to actually put in your newsletter. So then you're
Yeah.
not asking for that week because the title tells you.
Right, and not only that, like, it gave me other ideas, like, "Tonight only, all caps, live chat with Jen." Like, I don't
Mm,
mind doing live chats, but I don't ever think about, like, actually promoting it and doing a live chat like that, so, like, that's something I could look f to do, later. Let's see, "Pairs nicely with tea and sandwiches," and it could be something about my first book, right?
mm,
"Don't read bad books."
right.
That could be one for when I just have promotions, I don't have anything else I really wanna say.
Mhm, and they
Um
think it might be something controversial, so they're quick to open it, right?
Right.
That's the lure there.
Right. And that's where and then just doing this, I have 2 pages, no, more than 2 pages, but there are some for the I've kinda gleaned for the podcast too, but there are over 2 pages of ideas here that now I can just go and get ideas for it, and that's how I got my last newsletter, which
So
I was
what a
gonna
terrific idea. So let's recap. So you went and found other people's suggestions and
Mhm.
copied and paste them into a document and then used them as like a brainstorming session for yourself.
Yeah, I didn't copy and paste them. I just, like, looked at one I looked at the list and I would type, like, "Well, how would I redo that for me, for being an author?" And that's what I did. Like, for example, one that was very much not authoress-ish was "Deals that make us proud," parentheses, "unlike our nephew Steve." I thought that was so so mine's not as funny, but it gave me an idea. I said, "A visit you'll look forward to." Hint, it isn't from a visit from Florence. And so if you read my book, no one likes Florence. Or something like that. I don't know. So I don't have to use these exact ones. It's just for me, like it's like, keep my brain going, I guess, towards this. So um and then also formatting of like how you said you moved the street to the beginning. Some of them
Right.
I noticed that were like really high open rates were like all caps, new exclamation point. And then I wrote, so I did new exclamation point, a calling for Phoebe, all caps, available now, like, it was
Yes.
all caps. So, like, I
Well,
never would have worded it that way, and there's lots of different ways I could say that a calling for Phoebe is available, but if I take the formatting of a company like JCPenney or whatever that works for them, and I change around to work for me, then
yeah,
hopefully
I mean, if the big shots are doing it, they're doing it because it works. And
mhm,
I would say that a lot of times when you get those capital letters to work, it could be that you're being seen in a sea of junk mail folder emails and they're scrolling through and they catch those capital letters and then they notice that they say free and it saves you from being deleted with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So there
because
is a visual thing too with it.
and you know that those big companies, the big companies that are using this, Amazon and Barnes and Noble, all of them, they have someone on staff that is either has a
Yeah.
psychology major or is a visual like, they study this and
Yeah.
they market test it, so why not use that expertise to our own advantage, right? Oh, no, Teresa, good point. I'm by Florence, I thought you meant Aunt Flo, LOL. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
that's hilarious. Your Aunt
A visit
Florence.
from
I
Florence,
don't think it's your Aunt Flo coming to visit.
I better not use that one then. I guess when
Okay.
when book 4 comes out, I guess I will use that title, and I will say, not a visit from
A
Beatrice.
visit from Aunt Flo has to be one of your reader extras that you can only get if you are a Patreon subscriber. It could be like Florence is all grumpy and she's demanding to get Haagen-Dazs and chocolate from her poor husband.
Oh,
That's
mercy.
great.
All right. Well, anyways, from that list is how I got this last week's newsletter.
Oh,
And
yeah, that
it
was
was
super fun and different.
the TL semicolon DNR. So I used that on purpose. I thought most people, like, not, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of my readers, a lot of my peeps are grandmas. A lot of them are, and I'm okay with that. Like, I love my grandmas. If you look at my stats on Facebook and like that, like overwhelmingly, that's who loves me. So do they know what TLDNR means? Probably not, but do you think that's going to make them click on it to try to figure out what I'm
I
saying?
know, I can't even believe
Yes.
you're saying this because I just had to put, summary TLDNR because I know I have a mixed audience, and some of those people were gonna be like, "TLDNR? What is that? Too late, do not resuscitate, don't even
Right.
bother with the chest compressions.
Yeah.
This book is dead on arrival. It stinks. Do not read. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever.
Yes.
So, yes, you have to be specific sometimes, don't you?
Yes, for sure. So, but what I did was I did the TLDNR, and then I put
Yeah.
in parentheses, watch the video instead.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
gave them enough to where they could kind of piece it together, and if they couldn't, they're going to click to try to figure out what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, and I
And
saw the word video and I was intrigued. So it works like both ways. So I knew TLDNR, but then you said it was a video, which you haven't done before.
right, and which blows my mind because communication is my number one of my Clifton strengths, and I don't mind doing a video. I don't mind if I stumble through it. I don't mind. But it I have the highest click rate on this one that I've had in months.
Wow.
The only one higher was my title of my newsletter that was an opportunity to get a all caps free copy of Avoiding Esther. So again, the free thing. People are going to
Mhm.
click on free for sure.
For sure.
But when I'm not giving away something for free, which I did have a novel that people could get. But anyway, I had a 32.4% open rate, which is not fabulous, but it's only been out a few days. By the time next week rolls around, it'll be higher.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
at almost
great open
14%.
rate.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's only been out a couple days, and I'm not upset with any of my rates on that. So hey, even if it wasn't fabulous, it gave me an idea for a different kind of video or a
For
different kind of
sure.
newsletter.
For
So I'm not
sure.
like, oh, what am I going to do? This is the whole reason why we started this show, was so
Yes.
that we could like try to figure out what newsletters, what are we going to put in our newsletter this week? And it's been helping me to do this kind of stuff. So
Right, and if you guys in the chat, if you have a newsletter and you don't know what content you could try, or if you have questions, like, don't be shy. Everybody in the chat is really super nice, and Jen and I will also try to help you. We don't profess to be experts, so we're trying to figure it out, but we'll do what we can.
right. Teresa says, I don't have a clue what those letters mean, but Kristen answered it for her. Too long. Did
Didn't
not read.
read, yeah.
DNR. Did not read. So
Oh
people
my
will
goodness,
often
my
say that.
dog. I guess you can't hear him. Go ahead.
Tina says, but you can't use the free too often or it won't work anymore, like the boy cry. It maybe, I don't know. I've not tried it, but it's possible that you could overuse it and people will stop clicking. That's why I think that going and finding a list of good subject lines that other people have used is a good thing, because and then rewording it for yourself, because again, they've done the market research, so take advantage of it. And second of all, you're not always using the same, you're not one trick pony, always throwing free up there, but it doesn't hurt to put it in there every so often. And I've not used it in a while, so I should try that soon. Oh, you're muted, James.
And I can tell you when it drops off. I mean, 6 for 9 of my newsletters, sorry, are doing really well with the free. So I can let you know when it starts to fall off. Hold on a second.
Okay, that's fine. All right, while Jamie is gone, I'm going to talk about BookFunnel. So I did I'm going to share screen.
Good boy. Sorry.
My most recent promotion that I did with BookFunnel was let's see, what was it called?
Okay,
Romance
so we're
giveaway
in
for
BookFunnel. I'm
Valentine's.
sorry. So what are we setting up here? You're showing
I was
us.
just trying to kill time, to be honest.
Oh,
But
okay.
like, I'm
Gotcha,
just
gotcha,
showing
gotcha.
that I gave 111 shares. That means I sent 111 readers, and in return, I got 104 claims, which is great. I also made a decision this month. So I did a little bit of research as far as why I had to keep going and downloading. I thought that I had it set up to where when I paid for BookFunnel, they just automatically integrated. I had to pay it. I was one tier below, and it was going to cost me $5 more to have them do it. And I was like, oh, another $5. And then I realized my time is worth $5.
Yeah.
I decided that. So I spent $5 more a month, and it only cost me like $3 for the rest of the month. And so now they are doing that work for me. I don't have to keep checking to see if there are people waiting for me to download. I'm not saying everyone should do that, but my message in this right now to those of you that are listening to this and watching this is that you got to decide what your time is worth. And I don't have to go check it all the time now. And that means a lot to me. I can focus on other things. So it was worth the $5 a month for me to do that. I have something else I want to, do you have more on your list you want to talk about, Jamie?
I just kind of had a little mini brag. I'm participating in a promo on BookFunnel right now, and because I got 40 shares in the first week of the promo, they put me in the top spot. So I'm just excited because apparently this person has a whole bunch of followers on newsletters that have nothing to do with anything. I have a 2,000 follower SES list. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I went to look. It looks like stuff that's way too expensive for me. So anyway, I'm just really excited that I got linked into this promo, that so many people's eyes are going to be on my cover and maybe click through. So that's all. I'm just really excited about it.
That is super exciting. I have some exciting news too, and I got to share screen again. It's exciting, but it's also like,
Oh, wait, Kristen says she saw behind the magic curtain. That's so funny. Kristen, just so you know, my husband built me a little sound booth, so that's where I am. And yeah, he put a little curtain up for me. Oh, and congrats, she says. That's nice.
Okay. So this is a good thing, I think, but you've exceeded your unique subscriber count limit.
Yay! How many is it?
Huh?
How many is it?
That means that I had 1,000 unique subscribers. Now,
That's great.
I'm not actually at 1,000, but when they say unique, it means people like, so this month I had people come in and out, obviously. Some people will unsubscribe and whatnot, but so I had at one point, like throughout the month, I had over 1,000 people. I'm right at the cusp of, because you can see my last newsletter was 908.
Okay, so can we just talk now? All you've ever done is participate in promos. You've never done any other effort to build your newsletter, yes or no?
Correct.
Wow.
Promos and okay, so go back to the basics. If you are new to here, go back and watch our original episodes of this. I have a pop-up on my page. So if somebody goes to my website, it pops up and they can sign up for the newsletter there. I've promoted it on social media. My Facebook author page has a link, a thing you can click on. Those are the basics. But the way I've grown my list from like, I don't know, 100, less than 100 to over 1,000 within this, I want to say it's been 7 months since I started concentrating on doing this. It has been through newsletter swaps and through promotions, both through BookFunnel and through Story Origin. That's how I've done it. And I really was concerned. I do have a lot of unsubscribes because there are a lot of people that will come in, and I say a lot, it's less than 10%, but a lot of people will come in just to get a free book and then they leave. Well, sayonara, I'm okay with that. If you're not here to like really read the rest of my books or know more about me or like join me in this journey, then that's fine. Enjoy the book. They're probably never going to read it. They probably have thousands of books on their Kindle and they're probably never going to actually read it. So that's fine. I thought it was really going to the more numbers I got, my open rates and my click rates were really going to go down. You know, because you think about it, you're going to have a bunch more people on there that really don't really care, right? And it hasn't. I
Nice.
stayed really steady, right around 35%-ish open rate to anywhere from 10 to 13% click rate. Like, so that's good for me. So that means like, if you think about it, if it continues, if I were to leave my book right now, I'd leave my book. If I were to release my book right now, which I'm going to wait a few more months, and I had, can you guys hear that noise? I'm really sorry.
No, we can't hear a noise.
Okay.
We're just
Okay,
If
1,000
you had, yeah,
people, 10% of them
it
clicking
is 100.
through is 100. I
Mhm.
could possibly sell 100 books
Right.
on release
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
right?
Every time, every launch
Every
day,
time,
and
every
then
launch
every
day.
time you discount, you could get 100 people to buy just because you put it on sale and they missed it the first time. I mean, this is why we do the newsletter, you guys. It's, for this is the strategist in me loves this stuff, and I gotta say, I think you're really ahead of the game if you're just consistent and dedicated over a long period of time. The trick of it is to continue to put out a newsletter when it feels like, "But it's not selling me any books." Like, it's all foundational and groundwork and a long game, and you just can't give up before you get over the top of the hill.
Right. Now, there are lots of things that are gonna sell our books, right? We can
Sure.
take, advertising courses, and we can do advertising. We can do there's lots of different things, and I think that I will do that after the whole series is out. I know that I will. But from everybody I've listened to, everybody that I've read articles from that are, like, published, like, that are living on the incomes they bring from their books, they all still say that the email is king. Your newsletter list is king. And if you can grow it, like Jamie said, it's foundational. So right now I'm putting all this work in. Am I making any money? Well, honestly, I am. As long as I keep putting out newsletters, I keep selling books. The 2 months I took off, like half of November and all of December, I didn't sell anything on Amazon. I
People
didn't sell
forget
a
about you.
Yeah. And then I'm selling enough now that I for sure was covering the extra $5 that I decided to spend, but I think I'm up to where it'll cover what I have to pay now for Mailer Lite a month. It
Yeah,
might make
because
it
Jen, people don't always buy the first time they look. So
Yes.
you've got 500 people intermittently being reminded, "Here's that book you wanted to read. Here's that book you wanted to read." And
Mhm.
someday they'll pull the trigger, even if they're person number 499 and it takes some 3 years. Someday you'll remind them that you exist and they'll pull the trigger.
Right. Tina's having similar, experience too. She says that her list has gone from 70 something to well over 400 since January 1st by using BookFunnel and Story
Wow,
Origin.
that's so great. See, way to just be consistent and dedicated. Tina's been putting out her newsletter regularly too. I'm on that list and I've seen it. In fact, a lot of our regular chatters I've noticed have been being more consistent with their newsletter. And I wonder how they're going to feel that's translating to their sales. Maybe something we can ask
Mhm.
on Friday.
Yeah. And it's so nice too,
Kristen just said you both have another subscriber now. That's so great. Okay,
thank you,
Kristen,
Kristen.
does my free story come to you when you, no, just kidding. Like, because you have these questions from the reader's experience, right? And unless you know the person, if you change anything, you have to go through it as yourself, as a new person, to make sure that all of the things work the way that you want. And anyway, I had been that book funnel problem that you were talking about, Jen.
Mhm.
I had the same problem. And for a long time, people were not getting my open sequence. And I didn't even realize it till I went in and made the corrections you were talking about.
Mhm. So, yeah.
Always something to be vigilant about.
Yep, sorry. My
No,
mind
it's
was
okay.
already going on to the next
That's
topic
all right.
that I got, an email from a listener, a reader. See, I'm in podcast mode right now. I got an email from a reader, commenting on the video, how much she appreciated the video. She said that now here's something I hadn't thought about. She, is her vision isn't great. So to be able to
Oh,
hear me and kinda see me as opposed to just reading my words. She's like, "I
that's so
really appreciate
nice.
that now I can see who's writing these books," and I hadn't really thought about that. I thought, "Well, this is just gonna be easy for me to make people open it. Maybe, I'll just introduce myself." Not really thinking that, like, it really will help people connect with me. So I really highly suggest you guys try videos if you're not too, like, weirded out by it. And I got a message from somebody saying, "I really loved your first book and I gave it a review. Here's the link." I didn't ask them to give me a review. It
How
wasn't like they just did it.
wonderful.
So
That's
yeah.
so sweet. Oh, Kristen says she got my magnet. Hooray! Had me
Hooray.
verified twice. Oops. Wow, that's annoying. But anyway, at least you got it. Yay! I hope you love it. I
Yay.
love giving people something for here, have a present. Here, have another.
I know, because guess
I'm
what?
weird about getting gifts, though. I'm so weird about getting gifts. What, Jen? What?
I offered that lady that gave me a review. I said, "Would you like to read the next one for free?"
Right?
For a review?
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Like,
Give me your email address. I'll send you everything I ever wrote for free.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, but she's from out of the country. Or I say out of the country. She's from out, not in our country. She's international in Africa. And this is something else we probably should look into and talk later. I was going to go into the Facebook group for Story Origin, but she had trouble, and she's not the first one, but she had trouble with Story Origin. She's like, BookFunnel works really well for me. Can I do it through BookFunnel? And I'm like, I only have that book right now in
Oh,
Story
yeah.
Origin.
Okay.
So I might try to
Put
upload
them
it
both
to,
places. I mean, why
yeah,
not? Let's just work. See, you have a time issue. This is what Jen and I were talking about. Like, that would just be more jobs for you to find time to do.
right.
Oh, Kristen got your magnet too.
Oh, great. Thanks.
You're gonna love it, Kristen.
Aw, thanks. Teresa says it could be a good idea to do a little welcome intro video every 3 months or so for new subscribers. Yes, and guess what I didn't think about that was gonna happen from this was, I have people subscribing to my YouTube channel now. So I'm
Nice.
like,
And then there they are over there, and you're like, what do I do with you?
well, no, I'm like, why didn't I think of this before? I
Yeah.
have videos I made, book promo videos that I made for
If
both
you're
books.
into
I can
it, if
upload
you're
those.
into it, girl,
And then,
have a YouTube presence. Get monetized, girl. Go get that money.
I mean, if I'm
Chase
gonna
it.
put it in a newsletter, just kinda put them up there and people
Spread
might just
organic
happen
mail
across.
reviews.
Spread the manure, Jamie. I'm spreading the manure like a farmer does. In case you're new to us, Jamie's made this reference before that, like, you get one pile of manure and you spread it everywhere to grow all these different vegetables and stuff. It's something like that. I don't know, but we
Yeah.
just use the spread the manure thing all the time now. That's what I'm doing. So, like, I made one video and I can use it a bunch of different places. And
Yeah.
I took my newsletter and I edited it a little bit, and now it's on my website. If you go to my website, which
Nice.
I redid a
Mhm.
little bit, there's a part about like updates on the book. You can click on
Yeah.
that, and it's
Yeah,
just my
yeah.
newsletter reformatted a
Yeah.
bit because that way someone who doesn't subscribe to
Someone
my
who doesn't
newsletter
get your newsletter.
just
Someone
happens
from
across it.
China who's yeah, good for you. Sorry, I'm totally talking over you,
Yeah.
but I'm
No, no, no.
totally feeling it. Totally feeling this excitement right
I
here.
know, because I feel really good that, like, this newsletter, which when we started doing newsletter chat, Jamie, it felt like this big weight around our neck. It's like, we know we need to do it, but now it's like actually turning into something that is like improving all areas of my promotions. And
Me
so
too. I was so
I love it.
reluctant, Jennifer. I was so reluctant to do a newsletter,
No,
and now it's like my favorite part of my career is doing
I
this
know.
newsletter for people. Teresa, she said it's a good idea to maybe do a welcome/intro video every
Oh,
3 months or so for new subscribers. That would that's a like, hey, here's who I am. Like, wow.
mhm.
Wow. If you don't know, wow, good.
Tina says, "Yeah, LOL, spread other people manure too."
Yes. I've used some of Tina's manure in my promotion. I put her in a featured spot because I knew she had that really awesome open rate. She gets a lot of click throughs. Her cover is tremendous. So
Mhm.
she's absolutely some good manure. Really, that's just how I feel about my work sometimes, right? Is you get it finished and you look at it and you go, really? Really, people want to buy this crap? That's but you loved it when you published it. You believed it was good at one point.
I don't think yours is crap, but I'd like to look at coming from a farming family. My dad grew up on a farm, and my grandpa had a farm. Um, manure is gold.
Yeah,
It really is.
it is. It
My grandma's
totally
garden was
is.
the best because of the
That
manure,
that's
right?
a
So
great point.
it is a good
So
point. So
something you think is terrible is actually terrific because it's gonna go, feed souls or
mhm,
whatever and help the fruit come out. Do you know what I mean?
right.
Like, we're planting it right at the bottom of that vine that's you know what I'm saying?
And I mean, we could probably have a whole episode on manure spreading, but
Mhm. It's
honestly,
so weird.
just real quick, like, you write a newsletter. Well, how are ways you can use it? Take your newsletter, edit it a little bit differently, and put it as a blog post on your website. Take your newsletter and change it a little bit, get a graphic, put it up on Instagram. I've done that before. I've had an image that went with what I wrote about in my newsletter, and I've put it on Instagram, and it got great interaction. You can take your like the video, like I do a video, and then you can start it and put it on your YouTube channel. Like, there are so many ways that you can take the work that you put in your newsletter and spread it around because people, like, for me personally, like, let's say I follow someone that I really, really like. I will pick one thing to follow them on. Either it's a newsletter or it's
Mhm.
Instagram, whatever.
Yeah, 'cause you don't
I
have
don't want to have to
time.
go everywhere to see everything they're saying. I mean, if this is somebody I adore, I want to know everything they're saying, but I don't want to have to go everywhere. So I don't want to find out that they're doing something different over on their Instagram than what they're doing on their Facebook to where I have to check both places. I don't want to do that. So when I think about that, I'm like, well, then why would I recreate the wheel all the time? Just spread it around because there'll be different people at different places on different platforms, and
Yeah.
you save yourself some work
Yeah,
for
and we
sure.
didn't make this up. This is not an ideal original to us. So there are applications out there that can help you be more efficient with this mindset, like Hootsuite or any other scheduling
Yep.
tools that you could use. So once you know you have a good piece of content, you can put it through your system, whatever your system is to get it published everywhere. You just have to set it up and then you're golden. And see, this is where Jen and I are. We're still setting up our business to where we could train other people to take over the mechanical parts, but you have to know what that is before you can teach someone else. So
For
it's
sure.
we're riding the ship still.
Right, exactly. We probably should like plan ahead. Like we just kind of show up here,
We
let's be
do,
honest.
really.
Because we always have things to say because we're always doing a newsletter. So there's
Right.
always new things popping up because we're still in that stage. But we should probably do a whole newsletter chat just on Pinterest, like how to take your newsletter and farm it out into Pinterest. Like
So we
there,
might have to have like a formatting this show meeting or talk or whatever
maybe,
strategy session, right?
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, your
Mhm.
strategy's kicking in. It should keep all
Yes.
upset because me, who's not a strategy, I'm thinking, or not, it'd be fine just to show up and I like it how it's working. That was just an idea. What am I? Wait, what is it? I am, hold on. There's a thing in me. Activator.
Yeah.
My activator is like, wouldn't that be a great idea? And then I back off because I don't want to strategize it. I don't want to I will strategize, but like,
If there's something to do, you're interested. If there's nothing to be done, you're not interested. Like you need to do. Like if we said
I need to
we
get
could do
started. Like, yeah,
yes, yes. You're not interested in like someday we could. But if it was like, Jen, right now go, you're like,
yeah,
yes.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're there yet. Like, I
No, we're
feel like
not.
we have so many other things to get to before we can like
Yes.
really start doing that.
Ugh.
But you as a strategist are like, okay,
First we have to do this, then we have to do this.
ABCD3, which I think I must have strategy somewhere in my top 10
Somewhere. Yeah.
because whenever someone says, "Let's throw a party," I'm standing there quiet thinking, "Okay, to get to a party, you're looking at party and I'm seeing ABCD3
Mhm.
party." Like
Yeah.
that, so there's got to be
And
strategy somewhere.
you are intelligent, so you may have developed your strategy the way that I've developed my woo.
Oh, maybe.
Because if you know that you need it because you've had enough experiences to see where strategy helps you. So you've learned how to be, even stronger in strategy. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. So
Because
like
you
as an
understood that
activator,
yeah, you
yeah, as
understood
an
it was a strength.
Yeah, so as an activator, I had these ideas, and then if other people are like carrying them out, and I don't like how they're carrying it out, I might have learned to no, seriously, like I might be like, okay, and then I pull in the strategy. So it's very interesting. I
Mhm.
need to get my top 10 because I'm really curious to see the other five. But
Fun.
if we're confusing you newsletter chat
Yeah.
people, because this is not a newsletter chat thing, go back and watch last week's episode. We had Becca Syme from the QuickCast on there, and we talked about strengths for writers and writing groups, and it was great. Great.
And just so you know, it's the Christian Indie Writers Podcast, which is a tiny logo in the corner. Like, I mean, I don't know how this ends up looking branded to people. Like, do people know we're the
Well,
Christian Indie Writers Podcast, or do we just say newsletter chat? Like, should we say, do you know what I mean? See, this is all part of the meeting,
well,
but whatever.
we're on the Christian Indie Writers
Oh,
podcast,
and the YouTube
YouTube
channel.
page,
So
and the
people know who
Facebook
we
page.
are.
Yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
yeah.
Anyway, this is the business meeting live for everybody. So,
I know,
point is,
we should have ended about 5 minutes
what
ago,
is the
maybe.
point? Yes, the point is, thank you for coming to newsletter chat.
Let's wrap it up talking
Yes.
about the coming week. Do you have
Okay.
plans? When is your next newsletter come out, Jamie?
It comes out on the 15th. So no, I'm sorry, the 22nd, because I do the second and the fourth Mondays. And I would like to talk more about that like next time because we're already
That's
beyond
fine.
the time that we would like to
I,
go. But I do have some cool stuff to share.
awesome. So my next one comes out this Friday. I was going to start doing every other Friday, and I don't know. I did not doing every other Friday did not lessen my unsubscribes. I really think I'm just losing people that only came in for free books, and that's okay. Um, so I'm coming out again this Friday with one that I'm going to title um, asking a
Oh,
favor or something like that. I don't have
okay.
my window up anymore. And I'm going to survey my readers if because in MailerLite, they have built-in surveys. And it was Piper that
That's
had told us
cool.
about this. So I'm trying it out, but I really truly want to know before I get like much farther in talking about the book that I'm working on, do I need to have a pen name for my contemporary romance? Are
Mm.
historical Christian romance readers also contemporary Christian romance readers? Because I don't want to be promoting to the wrong people. I don't really want the extra work of having two pen names, but I also don't want to I don't want it to stifle my career. So I'm going to ask a few questions about that and get some feedback from the people that actually read my newsletter and read my books and like
I'm
that.
so disappointed that we're almost done. But how about if I just ask you, so like, have you considered, here's a strategy brain, because this is what I was thinking when I was writing under a different name. Have you considered what it would feel like to go sit down in an interview with, say, Oprah, and have Oprah say, "So Melody, your last book, blah blah," like calling you by a different, like, how, like, I'm just saying, have you
No, no, no,
sat with what that would feel like, right?
because I wouldn't do that. I would write contemporary as Jennifer Carl.
Okay.
I've thought about this. I thought and should I actually pull my nonfiction that I've written with you guys and do it as Jennifer Tong or as Jennifer Carl? Like it would still be me. It would be obvious. Like people like Joanna Penn, she writes it as JF Penn, and then she does her nonfiction as Joanna Penn. But it's obvious that she's the same person. She's the same last name. The initials are similar. So
Mhm.
would I do something like that? I don't want to. I really don't want to, but I just want to make sure that I'm not wrong. This is what the
Right.
survey is for, is to make sure that by
Mhm.
doing all the books under my technically it's a pen name because I have my maiden name hyphenated in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you have to serve your readers, so you're asking
Yes.
the right folks. I mean, who cares what I say about it? I could have an opinion. My in general opinion would be, if you were gonna do something crazy like hardcore sci-fi, then yeah, for
Right.
sure, you would wanna be writing as, Marvin the Martian or something instead of as Jennifer Tong, but I would be tilty towards, your readers are probably gonna say, "We'll read anything you put out. We don't care if it's The Cat in the Hat,
Mhm.
rewritten for a modern day love story or something."
And into keeping in the same like vein of things as well, the book that I'm sharing this next week that I'm doing a book swap with another Christian author is a Christian contemporary romance. So we'll
Mm,
see how that. So I'll be able to look at my
yes,
survey and I'll be able to see
on
the click throughs
that. Mhm.
that I share. So
Fun.
that's my coming up Friday. I'll be able to report on that next week, and then I
Awesome.
already know what the next week's newsletter is. I'm not even kidding because I have like that list of subject lines. So
That's
everyone go do that this
awesome.
week.
And
That's
when time is precious, you have to do these things to make it faster. You know what
mhm.
I mean?
Exactly. So that's your homework for this week, everyone. Go Google open rates or email subject lines, do a couple different ones and see what lists you can come up with, and then convert them into ones that you guys can use for yourself. So, okay, I missed this. Sorry. Katie Ganshert is published traditionally for contemporary and then released a YA speculative under K.E. Ganshert, and she
Hmm.
cross promotes. I think that the difference between contemporary and YA speculative is enough of a gap that you would need to do that.
Well, and the trad pub people probably would prefer that she be, I mean, who knows
Mm,
if they had a preference. You know what I'm saying? If they're trying to brand and market her other, like, they may have an opinion is all I'm saying.
mm. Teresa says, I'm trying to figure out if I need to add to my name because
Oh.
because Teresa Thomas is uber popular. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what your maiden name is if you want to hyphenate it like I did. I did that because I was single for a long time. I didn't get married to my 30s. And so a lot of people still only know me as Jennifer Carl. So, and I like it. I like how it looks.
Do you have a
I almost
nickname
wrote under just Jennifer Carl, to be honest,
like,
but
I wanna know if Therese has a nickname like TTTETE, 'cause she could be like TT Thomas, or she could be, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but the point is, I like the name Teresa Thomas, and it, you know what I mean? It has a good ring, but it is, I hear her. I hear it. I hear her concern.
and I think it's
Teresa,
Teresa
I can't
Thomas.
say it
But
right, but
people
I
don't hear that when they read your book cover. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. I would like to
Teresa
know how
Uber
she
hyphen
decides to
Thomas.
handle it. What's her maiden name, I wonder? See, I'm
Yep.
writing under my maiden name.
So,
On her Amazon, she has 2 author pages, right, because her traditional people probably have a little bit of a handle on her.
yeah, probably. All right.
Yep,
All
so
set
I
for
think
next week.
this is great. I'm so jazzed and motivated. I hope you guys are too. Oh, Marie, that's pretty. So, I mean, if you did Teresa Marie Thomas, that could be helpful as a writer too. It sounds fancy, or Teresa M. Thomas, whatever. I think that she could make it work. What do you think, Jen?
For sure, 100%.
And we'll be
So,
checking in with you to see what you
oh,
decide to do and
her
what your
maiden
goals
name is either Egan or Egan. I don't know how you pronounce it.
are. Oh,
I like
I
that.
like it too.
So
And
Teresa Egan Thomas or Teresa Egan, that's definitely. Here's what I did. I found the font that I liked that I wanted to use for my branding, and I wrote it a bunch of different ways. And then I
good
also spent
idea.
some time when I was at the doctor's office or the dentist's office, whatever, just
Mm,
signing different
mhm.
names. And, and I
Right.
ended up, I honestly was going to do Jennifer Carl because I felt like I just it's really kind of who I feel I am. I do feel like I'm Jennifer Tong too, but, um, and then, my husband was on board with it at first. And then eventually he was like, I really feel like, I want you to have Tong in there. So, I did. So that was she says it's not Egan, so it's Egan. I like that. Teresa Egan. I also like Teresa Egan Thomas. I like them
I
both.
like T.M. Egan. I like Teresa
Mhm.
M. Egan. I like T. Marie Egan. I like all of it. I like all of it.
Yeah,
I like Teresa, so
I do too.
whatever. I'll like anything she picks. I am on your side, Teresa. Whichever name
Yay.
you pick, that's the perfect one. I promise.
We're cheering for you. We're
Yeah.
we're so excited. Like, I'm gonna be so excited when some of our, I don't want to say book children or book babies
They're
are
little
like
sprouts. They're
when
little
she
sprouts. They're
yes,
sprouting up from our manure. We
when
spread
you
some
pop through
manure.
our manure, Teresa, and publish your book, we're gonna be your biggest cheerleaders.
Oh, she's already popped. She's popped through,
She's not published yet. I meant when
but
she
we can
releases.
see her.
Yeah.
We see you, little sprout. We will feed and water you. We have a garden. We have a little garden of new writers that are coming up, right? A nice crop.
Sorry. I keep hitting the space bar. I don't know why it selects it. Sorry. But
That's okay. It's funny because that means you're laughing. Accidental space bars are great. But we're 10 minutes over. We should maybe go, do you think? And then we
I'm just clicking it.
okay,
All right.
now shenanigans are starting. This meeting is gonna be great. You know, we have a business meeting in 20
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
I don't wanna leave my married name out either, though. Yeah.
Right.
With my Insta and YouTube, Teresa Thomas, I feel like I should keep that.
You can
I'm
always
glad.
change them.
Oh, well, yeah, you can. It's
Um,
early.
my Instagram, all of my stuff was Not Quite Mom of the Year. That was what I was at the beginning, and I just
Yeah.
switched it over to my author name. And yeah, it's easy to switch your social media, so wouldn't worry about
Mhm.
that. Websites are a different matter, but you don't have one of those yet. So
Yeah, and you know what? Even if you have 400 people on your mailing list and you make a change, they're not gonna go anywhere.
right. I had a bunch of followers on different, where was it, Twitter and Instagram, and I switched from Not Quite Mom of the Year to my author, and I lost like 5 people. Like,
Nice.
yeah, you're not gonna lose people. So, especially, how about Teresa Egan Thomas? I like
Yeah,
it.
I like it too.
Yeah.
That's way different than Marie, because you know, Marie's also a very common middle name, so I really
Mhm.
like that.
It's very long, which is what I had to deal with too. So again,
Ah,
I would also play around with,
T.
like,
Egan Thomas?
mm,
It depends on what she writes. If she's writing,
yeah,
like, suspense, detective books,
right.
if she's writing romance, no.
Teresa, you can change Facebook pages. It makes you wait ever so many months. You can't keep doing it. So if you've not changed it in a while, it'll be easy. I changed mine. I had one too. Again, it was Not Quite Mom of the Year, and I changed it to Jennifer Carl Tong. So Jennifer Carl Tong, author, actually,
And
because
you can change
I,
it again, and you can change it again. Sorry, what were you
yeah,
saying?
because I was Jennifer Carl Tong on Facebook. They wouldn't let me
Mm.
do the page that way too, or something. I don't remember.
Oh, Tegan Thomas, that's great.
Oh
I really like
yeah,
that.
I really like that.
Tegan Thomas, yeah. That's very Tegan is almost like a general neutral, even though I think it's very I like it a lot.
But again, as long as you understand that when you're like being not by Oprah, I'm never going to be interviewed by Oprah. But when you get interviewed, people are going to call you Tegan. When you go to book signings, people are going to call you Tegan. If you're okay with that, great. I'm not. I wasn't. So, I have one out there as Andrea Lane writes, and they won't let me change it.
Ugh,
Hmm. Interesting.
hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
maybe you can close it out.
Yeah.
because that's always an option. And here's the thing, people will say, oh, your reputation, you know what, you're so small right now. Everybody who is just getting started, you seriously, if you scare away the 200 people who are following you now, they'll be back because they liked what you were doing before and they just were recognizing it under a different brand. So do not worry, because what you're doing hasn't changed. You're only changing how you're presenting it to people, and people will stick around if they like what you're offering. So if you lose them, you don't want to keep them anyway. Why do you want to spend your marketing dollars on people who don't want what you're selling? That doesn't make any sense.
We have a follower that is named Maria Johnson. That's not her real name. And those are two very, very common names. And she publishes, and I mean, as far as I know, she does well. So she seems to do well. She wanted the anonymity. She didn't want anyone to know who was actually behind her books. Her books are perfectly, there's nothing like, it's not erotica or anything like that. Her books are great. They're fine. But she just wanted the anonymity. So anonymity. Anonymity.
Do, 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 do.
Anonymity. That was new close.
It's
all right. We really appreciate you guys. We should have been off here 15 minutes ago.
Sorry.
But, we will be back next week. Don't forget tomorrow morning.
With Jen's poll results.
Yeah, so my poll results, and I'm going to talk about what I'm going to worry about next week. And yeah, very exciting.
Tomorrow's sprints.
Tomorrow's sprints. I will be here for sure. If Jamie feels like it, she might be here. Yeah. And then don't forget Friday. What is our topic this week on the podcast?
I don't remember. After the Clifton Strings thing, it was like, because it was like our first guest and we were all nervous and everything. If you guys go back and watch that, it was a really good episode because like really insightful, I think. Anyway, but I don't remember what our topic is this week. Writing groups, isn't it? Or no? Why can't we?
We know you're in the chat. You should know. Yeah. Tina's probably already been going, looking in our notes. And production hacks. Seriously?
I don't know what that means. Oh, to be more productive.
Productivity hacks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I know. Supposed to be looking up some productivity tips?
I was supposed to take notes.
There's a business meeting. That's why we have a business meeting. Let's not panic.
Right.
That's what we do on Tuesday. It'll all be clear, I'm sure.
There's never any panic happening behind the scenes here. Are you kidding me? It is always smooth sailing.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to go. We're just shenanigizing.
You guys are great. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for coming to our chat and hanging with us. You're the reason I show up at 8 o'clock. When I can get myself out of bed, it's to say hello to all you beautiful babes. Love you all. And Jason.
Oh, Jamie, I can't unmute you.
That's newsletter chats.
Did I misspell awesome?
Newsletter chat. Go be awesome.